It's commonly said that it's commonly given that Shias are part of the Shias, Ahmadis, and Quran-only Muslims are Muslims, Orthodox Muslims, and that's false. Because the only orthodox position, or the only correct position of Islam, is Sunni Islam, not sects of Shiism, not Ahmadis, not Quran-only Muslims. And the reason why Shias, Ahmadis, and Quran-only Muslims are excluded from Orthodox Islam or Orthodox Muslims is because all three of them contradict core Islamic teachings. You're getting now. This video is not about Ahmadis or Quran-only Muslims, but I'll just say why these two are not Muslims. Ahmadis believe that Ghulam Ahmad was the was Jesus, or the coming of the second Messiah, or the Mahdi, and that's false because the Prophet Muhammad said in Sahih Bukhari, and Bukhari is the most authentic book in Islam. It says that Jesus will literally come back in his second coming. That means Jesus the son of Mary, Jesus Jesus Christ would literally come back. He's not going to be an incarnate of some person in India or Pakistan. So that Jesus will literally come back. Um, so that contradicts Orthodox Islam. So that automatically throws them out of the realm of Orthodox Islam. The Quran only Muslims are not Muslims because they reject everything that came after the Quran. Uh, they reject all of Islamic literature. They only accept the Quran. You can't do that because the Quran says follow the Prophet Muhammad. And so how do we follow the Prophet Muhammad? The Prophet Muhammad is only mentioned 5 times in the Quran. So how do you follow the Prophet Muhammad without the secondary sources, without the seerah, the biography sources of the Prophet Muhammad, the Hadith, the Islamic jurisprudence? How do you follow Islam without the founder of Islam? It doesn't make any sense. So these two would be outside the orthodox position of Islam. Yeah, so if you want to read more about the Sunni and Shia split, it's found in the History of al-Tabari, volume 15 to 17. That explains in further detail the Sunni and Shia split. So I'm going to be referencing those in a little bit. Basically, the Sunnis believe that Abu Bakr was the rightly chosen as caliph. The Shias, however, believe that Ali should have been the first caliph. So who was correct in all of this? I would say the Sunnis were correct in saying that Abu Bakr was the rightly chosen caliph because the Prophet Muhammad said to follow Abu Bakr and Umar after his death in Sahih Bukhari 713, Ibn Majah, Volume 1, Book 1, Hadith number 97, and Musnad Ahmad. So the Prophet Muhammad said that Abu Bakr and Umar should be followed after his death. In Sahih Bukhari 713, Ibn Majah, Volume 1, Book 1, Hadith number 97. And Ali, in the hilarious part is Ali himself agreed that Abu Bakr should be caliph in Musnad Ahmad 1059. So basically this whole thing started because the Sunnis said Abu Bakr should be the caliph or the president after the Prophet Muhammad, and then the Shias believed that Ali should have been the first caliph. So right there we have support of the Sunni position right off the bat that Prophet Muhammad said that Abu Bakr should be the caliph or the first president after the Prophet Muhammad's death. So we find further proof of this because basically one of the biggest classical scholars of Sunni Islam is a sectarian man called Ahmad ibn Abu Halim, who's also commonly known as Ibn Taymiyyah. So the majority of Sunni Muslims respect him and label him as Ibn Taymiyyah, the Sheikh of Islam. So Ibn Taymiyyah is known as the Sheikh of Islam or the leader of Islam. In Ibn Taymiyyah's book, Al-Sarim, al-Maslool, pages 582 to 583, the Prophet Muhammad himself said that the Shias are disbelievers and polytheists. Um, so, uh, so, um, so the Prophet Muhammad himself is is saying that the Shias are not real Muslims or the polytheists, and he's not the only one who says that Shias are not Muslims. Another classical Muslim scholar of early Islam, Imam Malik ibn Anas, the founder of the Maliki school of thought, the founder of one of the four main schools of jurisprudence, who was the founder of the Maliki school of thought that dominates North Africa. Here's what Imam Malik says about the Shias. Imam Malik labeled them as a Rafida or Rawafid, which is a derogatory term for Shia Muslims. So basically, if we read the Quran, chapter 48, verse 29, the verse talks about how Muhammad and his companions are severe against the infidels and kind to their own. So the Quran, chapter 48, verse 29 is praising the companions or the disciples of Prophet Muhammad. And Ibn Kathir quotes Imam Malik as saying, Ibn Kathir was an important commentator on the Quran. In fact, he's one of the most quoted commentators of the Quran in the English-speaking world. Even the non-Muslim critics quote Ibn Kathir a lot. But anyways, Ibn Kathir quotes Imam Malik as saying that this is Ibn Kathir commentating on the Quran chapter 48 verse 29. So listen to what Imam Malik says about the Shias. Ibn Kathir states that the Rawahid or the Shias are disbelievers because they hate the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. And Imam Malik said that the companions enrage them all. Whoever enrages the companions, according to the Quran chapter 48 verse 29, uh, um, is considered a disbeliever, and that's what Imam Malik says. And several Muslim scholars, agree with Imam Malik's opinion. And this is again Tafsir ibn Kathir commenting on the Quran chapter 48 verse 29. So we find further support of this in early Muslim literature, or early Muslim scholarship. In the Encyclopaedia of Fiqh, volume 13, pages 229 to 239, it talks about how scholars are in agreement that whoever says something blasphemous is an infidel, whether they are saying this to mock out of rebelliousness or through conviction. In the Quran chapter 9 verse 66, in the Quran chapter 9 verse 69, it talks about whoever mocks Allah and His apostle is considered a disbeliever. So what do the Shias do? The Shias always mock Abu Bakr, Ali, Aisha, Umar, when these people were praised by the Prophet Muhammad. In the Hadith I just quoted, and the Quran indirectly praises Abu Bakr, Ali, Aisha, Uthman, etc. In the Quran chapter 9 verse 100, and the Shias always mock and make fun of Umar ibn Khattab, Abu Bakr, Aisha, in the Shia Hadith books. The same Encyclopedia of Fiqh, the same Encyclopedia of Fiqh, volume 13, pages 229 to 239, refers to Shia Muslims who don't like many of the Prophet Muhammad's companions. And this is what that encyclopedia says. It says the scholars have agreed that Muslims who call all of the companions non-Muslims because this. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. The scholars have agreed that Muslims who call all of the companions non-Muslims become non-Muslims themselves. They also agree that whoever accused Aisha of that which Allah had declared her innocent or denied Abu Bakr's friendship with Muhammad is an infidel because they are going against what's in the Quran. So basically, and this is in the Encyclopedia of Fiqh, volume 13, pages 229 to 239 and 240. So basically, what this encyclopedia is saying, and this encyclopedia is collecting the statements of, the classical Muslim scholars from the first three generations. It says, if you reject some companion that the Prophet Muhammad guaranteed paradise, like Abu Bakr and Umar, Nasi Tirmidhi, Volume 1, Book 46, Hadith 3747, Book 40, Tirmidhi, book 49 of 4112. If you reject some of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, according to the Shafis and Hanbalis, you're declared a disbeliever or an infidel. And the Shafi and Hanbali school of thought is two of the uh, main four Islamic schools of jurisprudence, or Islamic schools of law that dominate the Muslim world in the Middle East and Pakistan and North Africa, etc. So basically, so according to all the evidence that I just cited, the Shias are not considered Muslims because they mock the Abu Bakr, they mock Ali. I mean, sorry, they mock Umar Ibn Khattab, they mock Aisha, they mock Uthman. They say bad things against the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. That automatically makes them infidels, or that automatically makes them disbelievers. So that means they're not Muslims according to the Muslim scholarship I cited, Tafsir ibn Kathir, Encyclopaedia of Fiqh. And it goes against the sayings of the Prophet, but they go against the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. Basically, the question really arises, what happened, what happened that caused the whole Sunni and Shia split. And the thing that caused the Sunni and Shia split was not the Muslims themselves, but the enemies or the hypocrites, people who pretended to be Muslims to destroy Islam from within. So basically, if we read the history of al-Tabari, volume 15, in the history of al-Tabari, volume 16, and the history of al-Tabari, volume 17, it talks about how people killed Uthman, and Uthman's killers were the ones who instigated Ali and Aisha to fight one another. Basically, Aisha went to Iraq to make peace with the Muslims because the Muslims were fighting. They were infighting. There were Muslims fighting with one another, and the Quran says that the Muslims should try to make peace with one another. In the Quran, chapter 49, verse 9 to 10. So Aisha went to Iraq to try to make peace with the Muslims and to catch Uthman's killers. But Uthman's killers were the ones that attacked Aisha's travel companions, and then the whole battle started between Aisha and Ali because Ali wasn't doing anything to catch Uthman's killers. So Uthman's killers were the ones that started the battle of the Camel, and the Prophet Muhammad said that that if Muslims fight one another, they're going to hell. In the Quran, or Prophet Muhammad said that Muslims who fight one another are going to hell. In Sahih Muslim, Hadith number 2888. So Muslims cannot fight one another. So basically, the whole battle of the Camel started in the history of. You can read about it in the history of al-Tabari, volume 16, and volume 17. So basically, Ali and Aisha fought. Ali defeated Aisha, and he took her back to her house. And after that, Ali didn't have any kind of grudge against Aisha. Aisha realized the errors of her ways, and later on repented, according to the history of al-Tabari, volume 16 and volume 17. So basically, that's the whole thing started because of some bad people who killed Uthman. So this whole thing was started because of some hypocrites who killed Uthman, who killed one of the companions, who killed one of the disciples of the Prophet Muhammad. So that's that the whole rebellion started, or the whole battle started because of them. So it wasn't that Ali and Aisha just fought each other over sectarian issues or over political issues or whatever. This whole thing had to do with a personal vendetta people had against Uthman, that these hypocrites had against Uthman. And again, the whole stories are found in the history of al-Tabari, volume 15 to volume 17, that talks about the whole Sunni and Shia split. So basically, Ali did not found Islam. Ali was not the founder of Islam. The founder of Islam is the Prophet Muhammad. So the Prophet Muhammad overthrows Ali. And the Prophet Muhammad said that Abu Bakr and Umar were to be followed after him. Ali himself said that in Musnad Ahmad 1059, that Ali even agreed that Abu Bakr should be the caliph. As always, I'm going to post all my references below. So basically, the Shias are not true Muslims because of their mockery and their mockery of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. So that automatically takes them out of the realm of Orthodox Islam. That automatically makes them disbelievers according to Islamic theology and according to Islamic sources I just cite. Just like, so their Shias are in the same bag, are in the same league as Quran only Muslims, the Ahmadi Muslims, as they're not real Muslims. So the only correct Islam is Sunni Orthodox Islam, because keep in mind that the Prophet Muhammad himself said that the companions that the Muslims would be split up, and the only Muslims who are guaranteed paradise and safe from hell are the ones me and my companions are on. And this hadith is narrated in Sunan al-Tirmidhi, in al-Hakim. In the Quran, chapter 9, verse 100 says that the Mujahids and the Ansars are praised in the Quran. So they were the ones promised paradise in the Quran. So the Quran, chapter 9, verse 100 is praising all the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. It's indirectly praising, Abu Bakr, Ali, Uthman, et cetera, et cetera. So there's no favoritism in Islam. There's no, there's no favorites in Islam. There's no, we're just going to follow Ali and we're just going to ignore Abu Bakr and Uthman and Aisha, and we're just going to ignore those. No, in Islam, everybody needs to be accepted. If you're just accepting some companions and rejecting the others, that automatically makes you a disbeliever or an infidel according to Islamic theology. So because Sunni Muslims believe in all the companions, Abu Bakr, Ali, Uthman, Umar Ibn Khattab, we don't take sides, or we don't favor one over the other. But the Shias do. The Shias favor Ali over literally everybody else. And some of them, the Alawites in Western Syria and in Turkey, bring Ali all the way to a divine state, saying that Ali is the son of God, and Ali is God himself, which is extreme blasphemy according to Quranic theology, because the Quran says God can never have a son, and nothing on earth can be like God. And so God is alone in his dimension and to be worshipped. So Islam is strict monotheism. Nobody can come near to the power and the amount of no one can come near to the power of God according to Islam. And so everything is below God, and God is higher than everything else, and God is the only thing to be worshipped in according to Islamic theology. So if there's Shias bringing Ali to the state of God, that's automatic proof that they're not Muslims, that they don't know what the Quran teaches, and they're making up their own Islamic theology, which puts them out of the realm of Orthodox Islam. Stay tuned, a lot more videos are